What's up, everybody? This is Harry Bernard Taylor with the Straight Up Wrestling Show. I'm with my man Danny Paris, and we are here. We're gonna pump up this Uprise Pro Wrestling Show. We're gonna talk about this Uprise Pro Wrestling Show that goes on tomorrow in Hendersonville, North Carolina, and that's on 6/18/2022. So that's Saturday, tomorrow. Doors open at 5 o'clock. Bell time is 6 p.m. And hopefully we'll be rolling out of there in a few hours. But definitely implore you to come out to Hendersonville, North Carolina, and see this spectacular show at the Armory. It's going to be at the Armory National Guard in Hendersonville, North Carolina, and I think that's on Spartanburg Highway 2025. I think that's 2025, Danny. I'm not sure, but I think it's 2025. Spartanburg Highway. But definitely come out and check out the exciting action that's going to be going on in Hendersonville, North Carolina. And Danny, we got a card here. I'm just going to go ahead and talk about the card tomorrow. Now we got a Joel Williams. I don't know anything about Joel Williams, but we have Joel Williams. We have the wrestlers. We have Riddleman. We have Marcus Mook on the card, and Marcus Mook is a guy who has been involved in Uprise Pro Wrestling. The former, I'm going to say the former, not the latter. What's going on now. But Marcus Mook is still involved, and he will be a familiar face to the fans at Uprise Pro Wrestling. We have Squeaks and Dump Truck, who are a familiar face to the brand over there at Uprise Pro Wrestling. They haven't been there in a while, but they will be there tomorrow. We have Jackson Cage. Jackson Cage brings his talents over to Uprise Pro Wrestling tomorrow, Hendersonville, North Carolina. We have Brady Hawks. Brady Hawks been around for a while. He's a veteran. Brady Hawks will be there tomorrow. He brings his talents over to Uprise Pro Wrestling in Hendersonville, North Carolina. We have Brino Royce. Brino Royce is a local, and Brino Royce is expanding around, and he's out here doing some things. He's building a name for himself. Tomorrow night, he'll be in Hendersonville, North Carolina. We're going to see what he can do on the card, so it should be pretty exciting. This Brad Mayhem. I don't know Brad Mayhem. I never saw, as far as seeing him wrestle, I've never seen this guy perform, but he will be there tomorrow. I've seen some video of him, but I didn't see any video of him wrestling. I think some people had some video of him wrestling on YouTube, Danny, and that was from 9 years ago, 10 years ago, so I really didn't pay no attention to that. The guy that I seen on Facebook looked totally different than that, but people going to change in a 9 to 10 year period. So Brad Mayhem will be there tomorrow, and man, he looks good. He looks the part, and I hope he brings that part in the ring. Then we have Scotty Brooks. Scotty Brooks will be there tomorrow. Scotty Brooks, I haven't seen Scotty Brooks before, but Danny, you have seen Scotty Brooks. You know who Scotty Brooks is. Scotty Brooks he's coming back. He's making his comeback. Now, he was at the last show, I think a couple shows back, not the last show, but the show before. He was up there at Uprise Pro Wrestling in Hendersonville, North Carolina. He was walking around, and he got involved a little bit in the ring. But we hope we see something special from him. We got the Southern Express. They're going to be there as a tag team. I think Brady Hawks is part of that, so they will be there as a tag team. Okay, Chris Thunder Anderson told us about these Gibson brothers. I don't think neither one of us have seen these guys, Danny, and I couldn't find anything on them. They're supposed to be a young tag team, young, exciting tag team. Look forward to seeing that. We both know about Chad Cope. Okay, Chad Cope will be there tomorrow. So Chad Cope will be in the house tomorrow. We definitely will see that. And Chad Cope is a very good wrestler, very talented. I don't think he gets the props that he deserves. I think he deserves more recognition than he actually has. But he does wrestle in pretty much one area most of the time. But Chad Cope will be there tomorrow. Next, we have Dalton Dallas, who will be in the house tomorrow. Dalton Dallas, he is a traveler. Dalton Dallas does wrestle in different spots. So Dalton Dallas will be there tomorrow. So he will be bringing his talents to Hendersonville, North Carolina tomorrow. Then we have Bobby Diamond, who will be there. Bobby Diamond will be there tomorrow, and I think he's going to be in a tag team match with Chad Cope and what they call themselves, Danny, the New Age
Freebirds.
The New Age Freebirds. So they will be there. tomorrow. So definitely come out and check them out. We got Big Nasty who's going to be there. We got Chris Thunder Anderson going to be there. AJ Frost, and each and every one of these guys, man, I give major ups to each, especially AJ Frost, Chris Thunder Anderson, and Big Nasty. I mean, he's a character. He's a lovable, he's a lovable character. But when you first see him, you think, hey, man, this guy's gonna be vicious, nasty, or whatever. I mean, well, vicious, and when I say nasty, he's a cheater, but he's definitely not gonna be a cheater or whatever. But Big Nasty will be in the house, and I think he's a face. I'm pretty sure he's a face. He's face everywhere else. But bill time, once again, is at 6 p.m. tomorrow, and we have Luke Childers ring announcing. This is the first time we're going to hear him ring announce. But Danny, let's go up here and let's talk about some of the performers. We don't have the card of who's wrestling, but we do have the list. I just ran off that list of everybody who's wrestling, but we're going to go up and down this list of the performers, and we're going to give you a preview of these performers and what we think about them. All right, Danny. First off, Riddleman. What you think about Riddleman, and how long have Riddleman been in the business? How long you've known him? I mean, you've been around for a long time, but how long have you known of him in the business?
Riddleman's been around about 10, 15 years, and kind of fell into obscurity for a while, but recently reemerged with HWA up in Rutherford. He's always been pretty talented.
Right.
So it's almost like he's making I don't know if you could say he's making a comeback or if he's made a comeback, but he's headed in that same vein.
Right. Yeah, Riddleman is somebody that I like. I like him. He has good size, and he's an experienced wrestler, old school wrestler. I mean, he does some nice things in the ring. And I mean, he knows the sport. There's no ins, ands, or buts about it. You could tell that this guy, like I said, you could tell he has a lot of experience and he knows the ins and outs of the ring. And man, it looks like some things he do slow, but he brings a lot of excitement in there. And I like his character. So, man, big ups to Riddleman. And I don't know who Riddleman is wrestling tomorrow, but I'm pretty sure that he's gonna bring it tomorrow, Danny.
Yeah, without question.
No doubt. So next we have Marcus Mook. Now Marcus Mook, from what I've seen of him, Marcus Mook usually wrestles. He used to wrestle in Hendersonville with a partner. He was wrestling with Sledge Gibson a lot, and they was wrestling as a tag team. I can't remember exactly what they called themselves, but Marcus Mook is he's pretty much an entertainer. Marcus Mook has the crowd at Uprise Pro Wrestling. He's an entertainer, and he's pretty funny in the ring, Danny. He says some things, man. And one thing about that armory, the National Armory, if wrestler says something in that ring, you can pretty much hear it. There's great acoustics in there. And Marcus Mook, man, he's pretty much like a comedian in the ring, in and out of the ring. And he comes over to the commentary desk, or he comes over to where we're podcasting, and he lets his feelings be known. He talks about what's going to go on, and I'm pretty sure he probably come over and speak a little bit before he goes into the ring. But Marcus Mook, definitely he'll be there tomorrow, and I mean he's an exciting guy to watch, pretty much. So what you think about him?
Marcus Mook is entertaining and a good light heavyweight heel.
Right.
If they ever open up a light heavyweight or cruiserweight division or whatever, he has to go in the tournament.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. I mean, because he's one of the smaller guys that we see around the area, and I mean, it's a good bit of them. And what I'm thinking is, all the organizations don't have to come together, but I think if somebody can put a junior heavyweight title out there, or a light heavyweight title, someone like Marcus Mook can be in there with a lot of different small guys that we have around the Carolinas. I think that will be great. And so Marcus Mook, I think that's a plus, and he will be something exciting to see tomorrow. Next, man, we have Squeaks and Dump Truck there tomorrow, Danny. They will be teaming up. So at least we understand that they will be teaming up. So they will be teaming up as Ice Cream Truck. Danny, this is something that I never saw. This is something that you saw and went through. What can you tell me about Squeaks and Dump Truck together?
Very charismatic tag team. I don't know who wanted to put this back together, but a lot of places are not doing it. But I mean, let's just see if it sticks or not.
Right.
It worked very well in the past.
Right. Well, I tell you what, I look forward to Dump Truck coming out, and maybe speaking on coming out speaking, talking about his return to Uprise Pro Wrestling, and I'm pretty sure that's going to be exciting. And we know he's over in some of the places that he goes and performs. He's very over. And Squeaks the Clown, man, he's another one that's unforgettable. You can't forget Squeaks the Clown. He has a presence. Both of these guys has a presence about them. So that right there should strike something in the heart right away at the crowd, to the crowd over at Uprise Pro Wrestling. So I definitely look forward to seeing that.
Really lost your hair.
Okay. You didn't hear me on that one?
You still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay, I thought I lost you for a moment.
No, I'm still here. But next we have Jackson Cage, Danny. Jackson Cage is coming to bring his talent. He's bringing his talent over to Uprise Pro Wrestling. Jackson Cage, rookie. Right now, man, I can pretty much say he's like the rookie of the year.
World of potential.
Yeah, a lot of potential. I can say he's pretty much the rookie of the year in 2022. It wasn't too long ago that he actually started. And I mean, Jackson Cage is looking very good, very tough competitor. I look forward to seeing Jackson Cage in Hendersonville, North Carolina tomorrow.
He would make another good guy to be interested into the junior heavyweight title tournament. But
oh yes,
I'm kind of thinking that because you got a lot of guys that can go both heavyweight and light heavyweight. But if you're kind of heavy, leaning towards the light heavyweight,
right,
you can use it.
Oh yeah. But okay, next man, let's talk about Brady Hawks. And I mean, Brady Hawks. I have no idea. I have no idea about Brady Hawks. I mean, I know a little bit. I've seen him on video. That's all I can really say. I don't know him personally. So let the viewers know a little bit about Brady Hawk, who will be there tomorrow. Give us some insight on that.
Brady Hawks, I can't think of his partner's name. They are the Southern Express. Brady is very popular. He's good in singles. He's good in tags. I've even seen them team up with Sam Houston a few times.
Oh, okay.
If you got Brady on the card, it's just guaranteed that he's a good guy. Period. And,
right.
I don't know how you call whether he's an old school cowboy, modern day cowboy, whatever you want to call it, but he does connect to today's audience.
Right.
And in addition to him, also he has a connection to that Watch promotion out of Tennessee. So maybe you can some sort of. I'm not reading into it, but maybe at some point she can partner up with, or at least make it where they're loosely working together. Wasp and Uprise and what have you, and that way you do have some folks floating in and out of the area from this by way of the Tennessee area, and I think they're out of Boone, I think.
Okay, yeah, Boone is kind of that's a good ways from us. Well, maybe about almost 3 hours. As far as Greenville, South Carolina, maybe 3 hours. Hendersonville, I would say probably 2 hours 20 minutes or whatever. Where Boone from and from what I understand, Brady Hawks has a good following. So hopefully he can get a lot of people follow him to go over here and check him out over at Uprise Pro Wrestling, and maybe he can get a foothold over here at Uprise Pro Wrestling. But yeah, let's go ahead and move on. And let's go ahead and move on to one of the locals, Brino Royce. Brino Royce will be there tomorrow, bringing his talents there. So Brino is pretty much a lot of his wrestling. He does a lot of Greco-Roman style type wrestling. He throws in some judo type moves in there with what he's doing now. I don't know who he's competing against tomorrow, but hopefully, man, we'll get to see a good scientific, a good technical type match if he's going against that type of opponent. But he's going to have to bring something different if he ends up being paired with somebody that's going to come in there and bring a lot of brutality, that's going to come in there, man, that's going to kick in the punch and not going to want to be in a scientific match up. And that's a possibility, Danny.
I don't actually see it the same way you do on that, but that's how you know he does have a great amateur background.
Right.
I don't see Bruno as being what you call scientific wrestling.
Right.
I knew that he has the ability.
Well, he has the elements of it. He has the elements of doing that, of approaching a match that way. I mean, I'm not gonna compare him to a Tim Woods, say, Mr. Wrestling or somebody like that, or Dory Funk Jr., Mike Rotundo type guy. But his elements is about tying you up. It's about doing certain things like that in the ring. He's definitely doing that.
And winning and hurting people, I think so. And when I think about that, I think about great amateurs.
Right.
And other people have done that in the past, like Bob Roop, for example. I know you remember Bob Roop used to be a great Greco-Roman Olympic-style competitor. So if you transition with the amateurs and the pros, and you put it together, you pretty much can be a unique and very successful pro.
Okay. All right. Well, everybody that's listening, I might be a little bit louder than Danny. I do have Danny on the phone. I'm talking to Danny on the phone, so I'm pretty sure you can hear him. But that's one thing I want to say. Danny is on the phone, and I do have a Facebook user. I will find out what your name is in just a minute. The person he's facing tomorrow is First Victim. You may have heard of him. Well, most likely, I'm pretty sure I have. And then we had the same Facebook user say Brino is Black Sabre Jr. If you have arms, Brino will remove them for you. Okay, that's what That's what I'm looking forward to. I have seen now the matches that I've seen Brino, and I've been looking at some video because definitely he will be on there tomorrow. I looked at video on everybody on this card that I haven't seen, and even some that I have seen. But I know that's what Brino does. Brino goes for your arms. Brino pulls back your fingers. Brino, he does that. He likes to roll you around on the mat, get you down on the mat, and control you on the mat. And then, I mean, he can come up with some spectacular kicks and things, and use his knees very effective when he needs to. And he also has a nice elbow. So definitely look forward to that. And once again, I don't know who he's wrestling. You said First Victim. Maybe it's the first person I called out, but we'll just see tomorrow night. I like to be surprised on that. But like I said, we do not have the card in front of us, but that's okay. We're just here talking about it, and we're going to talk about everybody. But come on out tomorrow night, Hendersonville, North Carolina, at the National Guard Armory to see Brino Royce and everyone else that I've talked about on the card coming up at Uprise Pro Wrestling. It's going to be exciting. And we're pretty much looking at a new standard. We're looking at new goals. We're looking at new goals brought to Uprise Pro Wrestling, Hendersonville, North Carolina, by Janet Baldwin. And we have a man who's over here booking, who's been in the business for a long time, Chris Thunder Anderson. And I know the quality, and I know the type of style of wrestling that he expects, and he expects the best, and that's what we're looking for. And as far as myself, Christopher Burton, Danny Paris, as far as us going out to Hendersonville to watch Uprise Pro Wrestling, we expected a certain standard, but we know there's going to be something different tomorrow. But hey, there's no there's no excuse for the quality to take a dive at Uprise Pro Wrestling, and I don't expect that to happen. So, but tomorrow will be great. Will be great, and definitely I would like to see everyone get down to Hendersonville tomorrow to check this thing out. So let me go ahead and give me a second, and I'm gonna try to get to the person that had something to say there. Okay, Charles Brock said I will be there with a tag team. I told you that would come back. Yeah, we'll come back. Okay, Charles Brock said he'd be there with a tag team tomorrow. Okay, all right, just 1 second. I don't want to. Let's see. Charles Brock said that, and let's see what else we have here. I'm trying to find out. Man, I'm gonna have to go back to that. But like I said, this Facebook user, Charles Brock, said the last thing. I'm gonna try to go back, but for some reason I'm pulling it up on my phone and I lost the comments. But next, let's go ahead and find out who we have next. Danny, after Brino Royce. Let's go ahead. We have Brad Mayhem. Now, I've never seen Brad Mayhem, and from what I understand, you don't know anything about this guy either, Danny. Danny. All right, I might have lost Danny. But as far as Brad Mayhem, I have no idea who this Brad Mayhem character is. Tomorrow night, Brad Mayhem will be on the card. But, I'm not going to sit here in front and act like I know who Brad Mayhem is, because I have no idea who the guy is. But I have seen some promo videos of Brad Mayhem, and from what I see, the guy is nicely put together. He looks like a wrestler, looks like a tough guy, look like somebody who can handle himself on the streets, somebody that you wouldn't mess with, look like somebody who dedicates himself into the gym, and looks like he will be a nice addition tomorrow to Uprise Pro Wrestling in Hendersonville, North Carolina. I mean, this guy right here, man, he looks like he's going to be something special. And maybe he is the one. He could be tomorrow. He could be the one who carried the night. We don't know. We'll see. We'll see. And I just got finished talking about my man Brino Royce. And we're going to see if Brino, because we know Brino want to be the icing on the cake. So we're going to see if Brino could actually be the one carry the night. Is he going to be the one to shine? This guy I'm talking about right now, Brad Mayhem, he might be the one to shine. But sorry about that. But man, it could be this Brad Mayhem. Man, it could be Riddleman. Who knows who it's going to be? So let me get back to the list of everybody that's going to be here. So, man, next, man, we have Scotty Brooks. Now, this Scotty Brooks guy, let me see. Let me get a little bit more light here. All right, everybody. Sorry about that. If you can hear me, definitely let me know. If you can't hear me, let me know, because I had to go and I had to change this. I was getting a phone call. So, and when I got a phone call, that interrupted. I did put do not disturb. So I got a phone call on the device on my iPad that I was doing this on, and it knocked me off. So I'm going to have to go ahead and finish right here. And now I don't have what I need in front of me to finish this thing up. But let's go ahead and go over what we had, because the Danny actually lost his signal. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish up this thing. Danny will be there tomorrow, and Danny will be coming. We will be commentary partners tomorrow. My man Christopher Burton will not be there tomorrow. So, but yeah. So as far as I will get back to the rest of the people on the card in just a moment. But right now, man, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna talk about a few other things that's gonna be happening over here at Uprise Pro Wrestling, and let's talk about how establishing a roster. That's one thing that Uprise pretty much had a roster, had certain people over at Uprise Pro Wrestling, and I know this right here that anytime that you have a wrestling organization or any kind of organization, people are gonna expect a certain thing. As far as in sports, they're gonna expect a certain thing that for you to have. So it's very important to establish a roster. So these are the people that the new booker has brought in, and as far as the people that the new booker has brought in, how many of them will actually going to make it, actually stay and be a mainstay over here at Uprise. So it's going to be great to see that. And man, I tell you what, the overall presentation, and atmosphere at Uprise Pro Wrestling, you can't beat it. So I definitely implore you to get out here tomorrow, man. Get out here to Hendersonville, North Carolina, so you can check this thing out. It's going to be great. But I'm going to go off camera for a minute, then I'm going to come back on, but I'm going to continue to talk because I'm going back on my other device. I'm going to try to get back on to that, and so I can get back to the roster and finish this thing out. Okay? So just hanging out with me so we can go ahead and continue this thing on. But man, so yes, we got Chris Thunder Anderson. He will be wrestling tomorrow night. I don't know if he's going to be wrestling. I think he's going to be wrestling in singles, and I think it's going to be a tournament there tomorrow. A tournament. They're going to have a tournament for the Uprise Heavyweight Championship. So definitely, man, if you get a chance. Yeah. Sorry about that. Yes, sir. All right.